Building New with Sarah, sponsored by Eastbrook Homes.
Building a new home can be an exciting process, as Sarah Wilkins is learning. But there are lots of decisions to be made, and that can seem overwhelming to someone who's never had to give a second thought to things like soffits and sinks. But lucky for Sarah, when you build with Eastbrook Homes, you get this beautiful home creation studio and a team of experts to help with the decision-making process.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kate. I'm going to be your designer today.
There are some people who build new homes and who have no idea what they want. But Sarah Wilkins had ideas, lots of them. And she sent a pile of inspiration photos to designer Kate Ulrey in advance of their first meeting at Eastbrook's 4,000 square foot home creation studio.
So much fun. So many things to choose from.
In fact, thousands of things to choose from. It's Kate's job to consider Sarah's lifestyle and budget and help guide her decision making. The more details she gets from the client, the better. Sarah was overperforming in that regard.
Now, I do know with some of the inspiration photos you had already emailed that you wanted a little bit of mixture of the stained, a little bit of the paint, a good mixture in different parts of the home.
Yeah.
There were cabinets to consider.
Once you do upgrade to the painted MDF composite, they are all soft close doors and drawers.
And countertops. Gone are the days of laminate. The base price in any Eastbrook home includes solid surface quartz.
Now with granite, it is a product that is straight out of the mountain, gets cut right out of the mountain, and with quartz, it is a man-made product. So it is slightly more durable, not as much maintenance as there would be with granite.
Next is the flooring room and more tough decisions.
So this is where we have our LVP, which you will see right here. We do now have our luxury vinyl tile. We do have our hardwood options over here, sheet vinyl, carpet, and then tile, of course.
Sarah likes the modern look of an electric fireplace, so she'll have 4 of them.
I like kind of the clean line and just the ease with the electric fireplace because
Absolutely.
we like to put just the fire on with no heat.
Okay,
Where
yeah.
gas, I don't feel like you have that option.
As for the kitchen, Sarah considers it the heart of the home. She wants all the conveniences and plenty of seating around the island.
We spend a lot of time in our kitchen living room island. And so
Okay.
this is something that I want to be as big as possible. In fact, I'd like it to be bigger than this photo if the kitchen accommodates it.
Okay.
I like the chairs on this side, but then I also would want a little bit of seating on the sides as well.
Lots of cupboards and storage.
Now what we would do is just make this a little bit deeper, and then just to accommodate the weight of the solid countertop, we would need to either add a knee wall in there or something for support to hold that weight, or we could even add cabinets on the side.
Let's add cabinets.
On the side? Okay, more space,
No
right?
dead space.
Exactly.
We want to use it up.
Moving along to things like siding, stone, and trim, Sarah said making choices for the outside of the house was tougher than the inside. They seemed a lot more permanent. Finalizing decisions was made easier because Sarah had really done her homework. Kate described her design style as cozy modern. Although as they reviewed the choices, Sarah reminded her there is a touch of rustic.
Some of my bathroom, maybe even the bedroom a little bit, but then a few other areas that'll be a little more fancy.
Speaking of cozy, Sarah's designed a sophisticated guest bedroom in the basement.
My mom has already claimed this as her room.
Okay.
And the so-called flex room is where Sarah will put the piano she's finally going to bust out of storage.
When I sit down to play piano, my kids typically run, and so this was just kind of my space.
Sarah's home purchase includes what Eastbrook calls McGraw services, which means she gets a second appointment to finalize her choices, review the prices, and lock in her final decisions. Some great progress on selections, and now Sarah has to fight the urge to question her decisions and make a million changes. Next time, a site visit where Sarah gets a glimpse at the footprint of her new home.